I learned how to moonwalk from T3 actually. So I was getting ready for the talent show, and when they was working on the Slum stuff, I would always be ride my, it's '90s, so I ride my little big wheel around the basement, and I was like I was like getting my, I was telling him I was doing the talent show, and yeah, T3, he the one who taught me how to do the moonwalk. Yeah.
I Yo, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So for all those crazy people out there who never heard of your boy, who ain't tapped in, they don't know what's going on. Detroit is in the building. Give us your name and tell us what you do in a couple of seconds.
Yo, my name is Illa J. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and I love making music.
I like that. So let's go back to where it all started for you in Detroit with your moms, your pops, your brother, the dog, the cat, all of that. How did you fall in love with music?
You know what's funny? So I have a really funny story about that. I probably told it a bunch of times, but whatever. Like my brother again. Like everyone in my house did music. So my dad and my mom, like they had an a cappella jazz group, and then they were also in the choir. And then I was also in the choir. So, but then my brother would be in the basement making beats. This was like, and he was my, the direct connection to, learning about hip hop. So he had, this is the '90s. So we got the old school tape machine where it opens up real slow. And one of my brother's cassettes is in there, and the volume was already on 100. So I just put the headphones on, press play, and boom, and and I swear, that's my introduction to like rap because you gotta mind you, like we grew up. It was like we was listening to all the Motown records, and we were in church so all the time. So I wasn't. I wasn't supposed to be listening to the what is it the secular records or what do you call it but
Secular, right,
yeah,
right.
yeah, but that was my introduction though, man. Ice Cube, that was like my like that was like my first like rapper I really really liked, like Ice Cube. It was just like his voice is so real and how he was just saying everything. And he had a lot of basketball lines. I'm a basketball fan too, so like yeah, Ice Cube. That was my introduction. But just music, honestly, man, it was just like it's just one of those things. It was just a part of the household. Like I'm for me, like basketball was like that was the real first love. And even now, I have a music career, and that's the thing that I'm like, like when Kobe passed, that was a big deal for me. You know what I mean? It was like, man, so it's like I but like music is just that it was just that thing that's just in the fam. But it is a difference between like in the sense of like, because people could say, "Oh yeah, you grew up in this musical family," and what I mean, and like yeah,
Right.
talent and the work to put into to actually make it in the industry is two different things. You know what I mean? And like, and I even try to explain that sometimes to family when family want to do it too, and they think it's a layup drill, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, no, it's a you're gonna be running around a lot of different cones, like and it's funny, like like the basketball thing, like I even my metaphors and when I'm talking about things, like I still like to go to basketball. When I'm speaking about working with people, I think of it like just being on the court. Everybody got their roles, and yeah. But man, basketball and music and basketball, man, that's it. That's it, man.
I like that. I like that. So growing up in Detroit, you, you mentioned the music. Did you and your brother Jay Dilla, did y'all have, I don't know, talent shows? Did your family throw talent shows for the family at the house in Detroit?
You know what's funny? Me and my brother, like, see, and that's the thing. People think of him as this, this super serious musician, and like, what I mean. We have such a like silly sense of humor, like, our whole fam. So like, me and my brother would always joke about, singers' voices. You know what I mean? Even my sister too. We would make like that was like part of our sense of humor, like making fun of how people sing, because like that's what's so interesting about singing. That everyone has a their own unique instrument. So it's like we would always make fun of how like the deacons in church sing, and stuff like that. And Al Green was another person. Again, one of our favorite singers, but it's just what it is. He does all these. He goes way too far with the ad libs, but it's like it's dope. It's dope and it's fun too at the same time. But like me and my bro would definitely like we would go back and forth and see who could do the best ad libs and like stuff like that. But yeah, man, it was like, I mean, I was in talent. We were both in talent shows. So my brother, so this was one of those I did it because my brother did it thing. That was the only thing was the talent show. So he did Billie Jean in the talent show. So I did it too when I got to like sixth grade. So it was like, and like it was crazy. I was like the quiet kid in school, but like I remember this moment. It was like they were saying, "Michael, my," like I threw my hat in the crowd and everything. Like my mom, because they had two shows during the day, and my mom was getting my costume together, but so I missed the first performance. So it was kind of crazy. It was like this whole thing. Then my mom came, she brought my costume, and yeah, I had the glove with the penny loafers, all of that, and they even put some cardboard down on the stage so I could moonwalk, like all of that, yo. Yeah,
That's
man.
what's up. That's what's up. So who had the best Billie Jean performance? Was it Illa J or was it Jay Dilla? What's up? Who had the best performance between the two of y'all?
You know what? You know what? Not nothing against bro. Now I know I got the vocals. It's just what it is. Like on the singing, I got the edge on the vocals. Now James could dance though. That's the thing. He for sure had a better version. Like I know, but it's like I'm not even going to compete there. Like my bro, like it's stories of him where when he was younger, like girls would come down the street and like we want to see James dance. Like it's like James, like he was like he could like really dance and stuff. And him Frank and Dank, like if you ever had Frank and Dank on your show, you could ask them. He used to be able to, because it's like because I'm from Detroit and we got Chicago next door, our cousins, and we got
Right,
this whole little dance thing. You know what I mean? Now we got the
right.
jit in Chicago. They got the footwork. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
and it's similar kind of moves. It's kind of like to like house music, like really fast, like 160 BPMs, and they like doing footwork and all kind of shit. But like my brother, like could do some crazy jit moves. Like he could do jit moves on his knees. So so it's like it's like, but for real though, like yeah, my bro was like a really good. He could really dance. You know what I mean? So yeah, he definitely had the better Billie Jean for sure. But I probably got him on the vocals though. I probably got him on the vocals though for sure.
All right, so you got up on the vocals. Michael Jackson had a little bit of dance work with him too. So was Illa J pop locking it too when you was doing the Billie Jean? Was you pop locking too doing Billie Jean?
So long story short, so my brother, and this kind of ties into the legacy too. So my brother was a part of Slum Village. So um Slum was like, you know what I mean? Like when I say they was at the crib, they was at the crib. So like when I would go to school in the morning, they was just leaving out, you know what I mean? Because they be working all night. My brother had the studio in the basement, so all night all I hear is just that 90 sub bass. That's all I hear all night, and drums, so but again, like they were always fam, you know what I mean? I've known them like for my whole like Frank, I'm from Frank and Dank. Like he's known my brother since I was in my mom's stomach, just to show you how long I've known all of them. So I was like literally like, you know, we might even have like within our music family, it might even be dysfunction sometimes. But like, those are all bros to me. Like I love all those dudes. So I learned how to moonwalk from T3 actually. So I was getting ready for the talent show, and when they was working on the Slum stuff, I would always be ride my, it's 90s, so I ride my little big wheel around the basement, and I was like I was like getting I was telling him I was doing the talent show, and yeah, T3, he the one who taught me how to do the moonwalk. Yeah, so
All right, all right, all right. I like that. Shout out to T3 for teaching Illa J how to do the moonwalk. Hey, that ain't easy. That ain't easy. I still know how to do the moonwalk, but that ain't easy. All right. Yo, if you're just tuning in, we are live on the Pimp Game Podcast where we highlight positive, intelligent, motivated people each and every single week. And today we got a special one for you guys. That's right. We got the one and only Detroit's finest. J. That's right, Mr. Ella J
hey.
on the show. All right? On the Pimp Game Podcast. So let me ask you this. I was checking you out a little bit, right? I saw you had an interview with Hot 97, stuff like that. You talked about Slum Village. I kind of wanted to go back to that just a little bit. You mentioned that Slum Village put you through boot camp. What did you mean by that? By them putting you through boot camp?
Um, I gotta say, like that was like so important for my craft, and I salute them to that because like I hear about I'll just say I hear about other types of boot camps in the industry. So I'm so thankful that my boot camp was purely musical,
Okay.
purely musical. So it was dope though because like it was really about the craft. So like it wasn't playing around. Like when I first learned how to record, it was just really just counting bars, and I knew what to write, but like I didn't really know how to count bars, and I was kind of all over with my flows. Like I feel like when you're younger, you just want to rhyme. You just like okay, it just rhymes, and eventually you learn these different formulas and how to fit your voice with the beat and learn how to your delivery for each song, and that would be a lot of the times the boot camp for me would be like they would have me in the booth. I'm saying like, yo, it's like an hour, man. Like on one line. Like I could do the rest of the verse straight and then I get to one part and it's like, nah man, you gotta say that again, man. You too hyped now. You too relaxed now. To the point where, man, come on, man, get you some water, man. We come back to it. And again, I wasn't the only one. You know what I mean? Like we all had to go through it, but it was really important for me because I really got better at my craft. Like, you know what I mean? Like to the point where I was the one that would be like when we work on a project, I just come in for a few days, I knock out all my verses and I'm done. And there's nothing no one can say. It's like I just knocked out it's like, well shit, he done. One take, cool, done. Next. And it really got me on my craft. And I feel like that's the part that's missing in music is the actual development of craft. A lot of labels now, they just more looking for someone that already has a buzz, not necessarily a talent, a buzz. So it's like, okay, cool, people are paying attention to this person. Uh, let's put some money into them. You know what I mean? And it works sometimes, but sometimes it's a crapshoot. You know what I mean? And I feel like if they actually, really developed artists in the sense of like their musical craft, like, okay, cool, you a dope singer. Why don't you take some piano lessons? Why don't you learn an instrument? Like, you know what I mean? And develop artists in that way. And then, I think you find that, your investments will go that much further because you have, because their music knowledge is expanded. And it'll probably be easier to write songs, you know what I mean? Because you're not stuck to the same, because like, yeah, you can have a little set of melodies that you write from and you can just keep writing songs from it over and over. But at some point you're gonna run into a wall or you will get to a point where you feel like you writing the same thing over and over. But if you expand your knowledge of music, you will realize because it feels limited, but like I said, like I've been bringing this up every interview. Like I've been taking piano lessons for about 2 years, and it's really expanded my music knowledge for when I'm writing songs. So, and again, before I didn't think that. I was like, maybe I'll get better at playing. I didn't think it would do what it actually did. Like I think of music so much more like it's just opened up. It's like a whole bigger thing now for me now. And it's like even when I'm listening to it, I can appreciate it in a different way. You know what I mean? But yeah, like that. It was really important for me to really work on my craft, and like that's one of the reasons I'm like the artist I am today. Because like I said, I really, I can honestly say I learned from the best. Like from Frank and Dankin, I learned from Frank. I learned how to write on the spot. So like my first boot camp before Slum was like just going to Toronto, and it was like, okay, man, we gotta go do some grown up shit. We're gonna smoke some blunts and shit. We'll be back in 30 minutes. You gotta have a song ready. Oh, okay, word. You know what I mean? And that's how I learned how to write on the spot. You know what I mean? Just because, and I can tell you the benefit of that. I've been places where I've been on tour. I get to town, I knock out a feature early in the day, real fast, cool. Made some bread real quick. Go get some rest. Go to sound check. Have a show. So like, not only did I have the show, I made some bread on the feature in that same day, just because I could write on the spot. And you never know where you're going to be in a situation where you just happen to these people align, because you can't take it for granted. You might think you might run into people all the time, but everyone's moving and shaking in this industry. So it's going to be times where it's just the right situation where you got to do it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to lay out this song. Because sometimes people get caught up in the money part of it, but it's just like, sometimes you'll you'll miss on a great opportunity because you're just thinking about the bread. Sometimes it's like actually it's a good opportunity, but then sometimes you got to make sure, okay, even though it's a good opportunity, let me check my bids. But it's times where it's sometimes where you know what I mean. It's a weird casual business industry. It's like I always explain. It's like people think like anyone creative is almost like, what do? You don't do anything. I just see you like in a hoodie and shit and on your couch. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you? But it's like
Right, right.
I'm working all the time. It's like, and it never stops because, like, yeah, we get to the point where we have consistent royalties, we have consistent album staples that come in, we touring and all this stuff. But that's a machine that you got to get started. You got to really get those wheels going, and it takes years to get those wheels going to where, cool. Now I'm at the point where if I release an album, that's like pushing the button. So it's like putting the album out. It's like, okay, push the button. Okay, cool. Press coming, tours coming, shows coming. You know what I mean? But it takes a minute to get that machine going. Yeah, man. But I went everywhere just now with that with that combo.
All right. I like that. I like that. So, being as though you from Detroit, I don't know. I always hear it all the time, the word 8 Mile. For the viewers out there that don't know what that is, what is 8 Mile for those people who not from
I
Detroit?
mean, it's just really it's like it's almost like a divider damn near because it's like separates Detroit from like Deer like what is it? Is it Dearborn? Is it but it's just like it's really just a cross like an intersection. Like it's not even really like because it's like because of the movie. It's just this whole thing. It's 8 Mile, but it's like really
Mm.
it's like you cross 8 Mile and then you like it kind of technically another part of town, which used to be kind of like really nice and stuff. But now, Michigan is being super gentrified. So now downtown nice as hell now. You know what I mean? They put money down there, you know what I mean? So it's like uh and again, like just to like before I say the next thing I say, Detroit growing up has always been a Michigan has always been a very segregated state. So like Detroit has always been like literally us a black city, like for real. Like you know what I mean? So the fact that now you go downtown Detroit and there's white people jogging around, that shows you how different the city is. Like, you know what I mean? Because like Detroit being such a like a black city, that's a rare thing. You know what I mean? So when I go home now, I'm like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, what? Where am I? Like, you know what I mean? But like, it's it's a good thing for the city because again, we got because it'd be different if they was doing that and it's like, you know what I mean? They push it out, but it's like it's actually it makes it like I don't know. When I come home, it's nice to see like, dang, they got the NFL draft here. That's crazy. It's like it's a Ford Field, Little Caesars Arena. They share that with the Red Wings. And you got all casinos, all kind of stuff, and then we right across from Canada too. So it's like it's a nice little spot downtown. I just wish they would fix up. We got to figure out Belle Isle. Like we got our own little island off of the city that's really
Mm.
dope. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Detroit, man. Where did I go with that question? Yeah, where did I go with the
That's
question?
okay. That's okay. We roll it. We roll it. So in Detroit, I know I got my ears to the streets. What's up? When you were in Detroit, when you was a kid, Common, the rapper Common, he came to stay with your brother in Detroit to work on his album, like Water for Chocolate.
Yep,
What's
yep.
up with that? Was you there? Was you at the crib all the time? Was you starstruck when Common came to live with your brother?
So this is interesting. So I was aware of all that, but I hadn't met Common till later actually. So like the first time I heard the light, me and my mom, I remember because we was it was my mom used to go to school super far like out because like she had like a daycare business or whatever and she went to school for that. So when she was going to school, I would she would be we would be driving out and she had I remember she had this Ford Escort, this red Ford Escort. And
Okay.
we listened the first time I listened to like Water for Chocolate was on cassette. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, so it's just interesting because it was still the 90s, you know what I mean? And my first time meeting Common actually was not until like 2004 or five, because it was like I graduated actually it was 2004. I graduated in 2004 And for my graduation present, my brother flew me and my homie out to LA and stuff. So
Mm.
like we out there, and I I never seen Common without the hat before. So this is my first time. Like this was because you know what I mean. This was a new era. The bald head Common, that was the new. That was new for us. We just never seen
That's
him
new
without.
comment. That's new
Yeah,
comment.
yeah, that was like the, you know what I mean? I'm eating healthy, kumbaya comment, you know what I mean? So, so, but yeah, that was my first time meeting Common. I was just like, who is this dude with the beard? With this boy had to do with the beard. I'm like, oh shit, it's Common, you know what I mean? And like that was a good time because like, I just remember playing video games with my bro. We just playing video games. Like this is where my brother stayed with Common out in California. Like that was the last place he stayed. Uh,
Mm.
because when my brother moved out to Common, out to LA, they were roommates and stuff. But like Common wasn't even there. Like he would come in and he would have his like stylist. They would bring in a rack of clothes. He'd try on some
Mm.
shit, pick some shit, and he was out. That's it. Like I never seen like he's always been like really working. It's crazy because before all the movies and stuff, I remember because when I first moved out to LA after my bro passed, like I was staying where because my mom would still stay there too because she would be there helping out my brother. So like Common would still let us come there and stay for like sometimes like not like long like that, but like I stayed there for once like before like this was a few months after my some months after my bro passed, and I remember like these big envelopes starting to come in. Then I remember seeing one or two of those back then. So, and it's funny to see like he's been in so many. He's comes a movie star now. You know what I mean? So, and it's kind of crazy to see that evolution from, I used to love her to the light to, you know what I mean, to I'm fighting Keanu Reeves in a movie scene. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like that's
Facts,
it.
facts.
You know what I mean?
Shout
But I
out
mean,
to God.
it's a good thing for hip hop though. Honestly, like to see someone have such a a long career, and he's never necessarily been, what I mean? He's never been a Drake like that. You get what I mean? Like a superstar, but like there is it's space for success. Like, you know what I mean? It's levels, you know what I mean? But there is good success that's not crazy too, that I feel like people miss out on. You know what I mean? I don't want to be the most famous guy. Like they look all that, it just looks stressful.
It does. I mean, it does. I mean, that's how it is, man. That's how it is. All right. Yo, if you are just joining us, we're live on the Pimp Game Podcast, and we are here with the one and only Illa J. That's right. I-double-L-A-J. We got you. All right. So let me ask you this. You recently did a collab with a beat company, MPCs, called Akai. What's up with that? How did you get the collab with the company Akai?
So that goes back to rest in peace, Amp Fiddler. So Amp was he was actually the one to and it's tied to this, introduce my brother to the NPC, and Akai is the company that makes the NPC. So shout out to Amp Fiddler. He was actually a mentor to me as well. So like throughout my career, I always could produce, but I never had my own equipment to produce. So I had some of my brother's equipment at first to start out with, but I mean, you know what I mean? I'm different. I just like it. Just don't. I'd rather earn, like, you know what I mean. I want to earn it and have built my own. You know what I mean? And it's dope because like my brother's stuff is in the his NPC and his Moog Voyager is in the it's in the museum. You know what I mean? Even though I got the beef with mom's about the Moog. It's all good though. uh, but I didn't have my own equipment starting out in my career. So as my career got more successful, I was able to afford. Okay, I got a MIDI keyboard now, and I was able to get my first laptop. And then I got a machine. I was like, "Ooh, this is my first drum machine," and it's just what it is. When I first started my beats, that's the one thing that I always struggled with, man. My drums always sucked in the beginning. So I was like, I could just never get them on the grid. Like I was like, because I was working in Pro Tools, but not on the grid. So it's like, people that know what I'm talking about, it was like I was doing some weird stuff. I was looping myself in Pro Tools, but basically having a sequencer, it's gold to be able to have that, because it's once you could just build your drums and you can have them on the grid. And again, I'm not talking about on the one. It don't necessarily have to be on the one, but something like an MPC, it's easy to create your own little swing with it. You know what I mean? And it be on time. You know what I mean? So Amp Fiddler was like, I told him I had the machine. I'm like, man, I got the machine. And he like, nah, man, you gotta get the MPC, man. You gotta have that live, man. So like, not even 2 days after that, he introduced me to Andy, which I actually met Andy a few years before that. I had a show in London, but fast forward, Amp reintroducing me to him, and he's like, "Yo, man, get Illa J at NPC Live, like straight up." So shout out to Amp Fiddler, and because of that, I was able to build my relationship with Andy Mack, who works for in music brands, who owns Akai Professional, and pretty much I've been building my relationship with them for some years now, and that actually happened randomly. So I just happened to be doing a tribute. I did a tribute for my brother this February, and I did a tribute for my brother this February, and then I stayed out there because I'm like as far as like some new projects. So I have two EPs coming out this year with a producer named Ash Walker. Like we co-produced some projects together, and one
Okay.
of them I made while I was on tour. Because basically it's called Off Days in London. So on my tour last year I had 10 off days in London. We made the EP. So I had this show this
Nice.
February, and I was like, "Yo, man, I might as well just have some more off days in London." And then we made a part two. So it worked out. And then while I was out there, Andy Mack from Kai just happened to be out there, and he's like, "Hey, man, I got this NPC key for you, but can you meet me at the office?" And he was like, "Actually, no, I'm going to be doing a presentation on Anderson's. This is YouTube channel. Why don't you just meet me there?" Okay, cool. And it's crazy because this is one of my favorite shows. It's this YouTube show called Anderton Synths or something like that, and they preview all these. I'm a music nerd, so they preview all these new instruments and keyboards and stuff. So like we literally get there, start making beats and everything. But yeah, it's like it's really been dope to be able to work with Akai just because they have, and it's kind of ironic. I have a Roland Roland Swerve.
You
Uh,
do. You do.
but you know, it's dope because it's chill. It's nothing like, I don't have nothing like signed and sealed. It ain't nothing like that. But it's just like a out of respect kind of relationship. You know what I mean? They know what my brother's done for it's just what it is for their brand. Like so many people buy NPCs because of him, and not just because I'm his brother, but I really, I'm a nerd. I mean, I got to say, I'm like the manual with this. I really know this machine in and out. I could use any of them. Like I've had like every single one of them. So it was just fun to do that, to show that, because I know a lot of times like people they kind of underestimate my skill set when it comes to certain things, because I'm known more as a vocalist in my career, but I can get down on these machines, man. I just but I rather just like
So let me ask you, with the machine, do you see yourself? Because I know Timberland he had a thing where he was showing people like a school for producers and stuff like that. Is that something we could see Illa J come into the music industry with, your own school, showing people how to work the MPC?
I mean, honestly, that's something in the future that I would be interested in, but not specifically in the NPC. Like I would have that as an option to something like, yeah, like maybe you move on to this, but I honestly, just in general, just a school for music, like, because again, like, you know, my brother's genius, to fully understand it, he's not just taking random samples and just throwing them all over the place. Like he's already approaching this with the understanding of music. You know what I mean? And like I always try to get people to understand that, and that um, again, for kids, I know learning things. It's all about how fun it is. You know what I mean? So I know that's a big part of it, but sometimes discipline is just as important. Just showing up and doing something even though it's not fun. But I know the classic Mr. Miyagi, wax on, wax off. You know what I mean? At some point that turns into a block. You know what I mean? So it's
Right,
like,
right, right, right.
you gotta nurture your craft. You know what I mean? And because the thing is, you can get away with half-assing it. It works. because sometimes shit just works, right? But then you're going to get to a point where you reach a limit just because like you've been doing something the wrong way for so long, you just getting away with it. But then you get into a room of people who've been doing it the right way, and then you try to get to the next level, which is going to be hard. It's like it's kind of like piano is the perfect example for me. It's like I was self-taught for a lot of years. I had piano lessons when I was younger, but again, it wasn't fun enough for me. So I, I taught myself. And then what happened was I get older and I'm like, dang, it's still a bunch of ideas I wish I could play, but I can't execute it. It's just what it is because I got a weak left hand and I don't know enough theory. So once I took those lessons, yeah, frustrating, a few months. It's really humbling because it's like I just feel goofy because like I'm like, damn, I thought I could play and I'm nowhere near as good as I could play, you know what I mean? As I thought I could play, but putting that discipline in that work and then once you start to see, oh, wait a minute. Oh, so again, I really like that's something I will, I'm gonna definitely, always continue to push out there is encourage like as many people, not just children, like any age. Like I started at 36 taking lessons. I'm just saying. So, but again, giving you context, I was already playing keys, touring around the world and all kind of shit on my own already too. So it's like the progress that I made, even my teacher, when he's talking to me, he's like, yeah, but you already got so much musicality already in you, you know what I mean? But again, even with that, I still, no matter who it is, or even without a musical background, I still think it's really important just to learn a little music theory. Like you don't have to put the pressure on yourself to become the next Herbie Hancock or nothing like that. But I just think just the basic understanding of it, can I just really think it can expand your creativity.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Yo, this your boy Kenny D. Hey, I didn't mean to interrupt your show, but I just want to take a quick minute, just to let you guys know if you want to see more dope interviews like this one, make sure you go on YouTube and check out Pimp Game Podcast. All right? And don't forget about our website, pimpgamepodcast.com, to see all your latest Pimp Game episodes. All right? We got you. Man, I'm done talking. Back to the show. A couple of tracks that I was feeling, I was bopping to it for the past couple of days now. I like Sam Cooke. I love that. And I also love Sounds Like Love. I'm really feeling Sounds Like Love. I like both of them. But those are two different tracks to me. They're both dope. What's up? How did those songs come about? I know that's, earlier in your catalog, but how did those songs come about?
So that's a good story. So okay, so Sounds Like Love and shout out to Debbie Nova. She's the one singing the hook on Sounds Like Love. So that was on my first album. So I originally had that song was called Love Jones or something like that, right? Like I watched the movie Love Jones, and then I wrote a verse based off of that, and I had this corny hook like Love Jones, right? And then I mean it could have worked. I mean whatever, right? And then Mike Ross was like, yeah, cool. And then he sent it to Debbie Nova, and then she sent it back with this new hook. So I just rewrote my verses to her new hook. Like her hook was so dope. I was like, oh man, it was amazing. And then I rewrote the songs to that. Like shout out to Mike Ross, by the way, Delicious Vinyl. Like the first label to give me a chance. I had a lot of rejections and no's before that. So Mike was the first person to really give me a chance. And yeah, that was an awesome process. But yeah, like that turned into, and like you said, that's actually one of my top songs. Like when I'm on tour, like I could, like when I'm in front of like my fans, like that's they everybody knows that one. I mean, they singing the hook and everything. I mean, it's like that's one of the joints. And then it's kind of funny because you said Sam Cooke. That's another one. Like if it's joints that I almost have to do, it's like these are two of those joints I almost kind of have to do. You know what I mean? And it's unfortunate sometimes because like we're constantly making new music and we're growing with that new music. But then,
right.
It's certain stuff that it's like, I have to do this. But over time, I become thankful in the sense of like, dang, that's crazy. it's like, because that, that's my personal feelings. Like, this is old, but it's like I got to take it in. Like, no, they really like that for whatever reason. Some shit I wrote when I was 20, they still like that shit. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, Sam Cooke is that one's special to me because Home. First off, that's the first album. I mean, that's the first song that I made for that album Home, and
Okay.
on that album, that was like I was about 2 or 3 years into my vocal training. Shout out to my vocal coach, Betty Lane. Like she classically trained me and really taught me how to breathe right. And that's the first album where I really started to show off my singing voice. And it I mean it's just what it is. That and the colors performance was a big that was a big move in my career. Like that got me. Before that, I was usually touring with other people. Like I had a few tours on my own, but like little small little tours, and I wasn't bringing in peeps like that. And after that album, and that song, yeah, like I've been touring on my own ever since then. So it's like, yeah, Sam Cooke is a special one. And then I named it Sam Cooke because it's my dad's favorite singer. So, and when my dad used
Ah,
to sing, he used to he had this kind of smooth voice, kind of like that. So you know what I mean? And I got the little metaphor Sam Cooke to the meals made, but like kind of like a tribute to my pops. Like you know what I mean? I'm about to use my voice because what happened was and again shout out to Calvin Valentine. He's the one that produced Sam Cooke, and he produced that whole album Home. We were making a completely different album. Like I just happened to be in Cali, and at the time I was living in Montreal, but I just happened to be in Cali because I had a few shows with Calvin actually, and we were going to make an album during that week. And one of his friends, who was the A&R for Sony, he came to one of our shows, and during my show at that time, I was doing a Brown Sugar cover during my show. I was playing the keys and singing Brown Sugar. He came to us after the show, like, "Yo, why don't y'all do a whole album like that? Just singing and shit." I swear, and we were already like 2 songs in. We was making like a super hip hop kind of project where I'm just rapping, and then we decided to take his advice. And I never forget. Yeah, salute Randy, yo, thank you, Randy. We took his advice straight up, made that album that week. We put out Home the next year, and like I said, like that changed both of our careers. That like from that point on,
mm.
Calvin's been getting a lot of big placements. Yeah, and like even for me, like that's been like I said, like I've been touring on my own ever since that album. So it's like, and Sam Cooke, that was it. That colors performance, like really, because like the video for I had a song called Home, and that did really well, but the performance for Sam Cooke on Colors, like on that platform, that just took that. Yeah, that did it. Yeah.
Nice, 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 nice. Well said. I like that. So let me ask you, because I'm a songwriter myself, right? What is the song for Illa J that you wrote that you thought like, I ain't feeling it. It ain't hot, but everybody else was like, yo, I'm feeling that. What song in your catalog was like that? Give me the one song that was like that for Illa J.
You know what song I could already pick out one. It's one on my first album called Air Signs. And I think my raps are so corny on it. Like I like the hook actually what I'm singing because I'm basically all of my siblings are air signs, so that's basically what the song's about. And yeah, it's just like I just when I listen back to it, I think my raps are so basic and corny. And it's crazy to me. And honestly, I'll just say I'm not even gonna point out just that song. That album Yancey Boy. So when that came out, I got a lot of criticism because obviously my bro had passed like 2 years before that. So it makes sense if you a fan of that, and he has a younger brother coming out. They don't, people don't get the context. They don't know that the label already had these tracks, and I just happened to be selected for this. Like I didn't go into it like I want to make some music with my brother's beats. You know what I mean? I didn't go into it like that, but it makes sense. My brother died 2 years before that. And there's a lot of weird shit that goes on in this industry. You know what I mean? People's kids got Grammys and all kind of shit, right? So uh it it makes sense that people would feel that way because it's like, oh, is this another nepotism baby just getting, you know what I mean? They giving them all these tracks, and so, but all of that criticism, for me, it really made me work on my craft. So I will always look back to Yancey Boys as the project that I want to top. You know what I mean? So it's full circle of my career. It's still one of my most successful projects. It's crazy. And if I go on tour, I always got to do. I got to do a few songs from that. I got to do at least one or two songs from that project. So it's kind of ironic because it's like I look back on it and it's so many things that obviously I'm so much better on my craft now. I would change certain things, but at the same time, sometimes it just hit right. That's just exactly what it was supposed to be. So yeah, that honestly that whole album like because like I said, like I feel like vocally I'm so much better writing, but it is unique because it will always be unique because it's my first album. So I didn't know any rules. So because of that, you know what I mean? You have this like it's just what it is. Like I will never have that approach. I'll never have that approach again because I know too much now. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's definitely that's the album I look back to where it's just like, dang, it's crazy. People really love this album. Like this, it's crazy.
All
Yeah.
right, all right. I like that. I like that. Joe, if you are tuning in, we are live on the Pimp Game Podcast where we highlight positive, intelligent, motivated people each and every single week. And we got Detroit's finest right here. That's right. ILLAJ, Mr. Illa J himself, the hardest working artist in the industry right now. So, Illa J, let me ask you this. In terms of Detroit, the artistry in Detroit, I see people game disrespecting Eminem. You may feel like you might be a little bit underrated. Big Sean, people like that. What's up? Do you feel Detroit artists are underrated? Because when they talk about music, we talk in New York, Cali, Atlanta. They never call Detroit. What is up with that? You think you guys are underrated?
I mean, yeah, I mean that we definitely underrated. But again, like I think I don't know, maybe that's just my opinion, but I just feel like they look at us as this like little small town vibe city. It's like whatever Detroit, you know what I mean? But it's like it's a lot of when you think about we go back to the Motown days, and you think about how many artists were influenced by just that movement in Motown alone. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's a lot of talent, and then let alone, when it comes to hip hop, because like, yeah, you might not be able to name a bunch of people, but I can name a few people that influenced a lot of people. And to me,
Right,
that
right.
says a lot. Success. Like success don't have to be this all the time. That's just the ego. The ego will never have enough. It's like, oh, I need more and more. But it's like, do you really need all that shit, or it's all the extra shit really for other people to see? And if it's for other people to see, then that's when you know it's the ego. Because to
Mhm.
me, I don't need no one to see that I'm comfortable as hell playing 2K all day. I don't. It doesn't matter. It's just like all I know is, oh man, it's comfortable as hell. You know what I mean? I don't need to. Let me go. Let me go. Just get a ridiculous outfit and go walk outside so I can so people can start talking about me. It's like that's like again that's ego shit, man. It's like and we got a whole culture built around that, and it's cool when it's creative and shit, but it's not cool when these kids really believe it now. So it's stretched out. It's stretched out beyond. Okay, this is my character for music. You know what I mean? Yo, what's up, man? I create this character. Now they trying to be this character in real life, and I think that's the problem now. It's like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because again, it's cool, be gangster, this, that, but it's like, it's like it's just gone like we've gone too far into Avatar land. You know what I mean? I just think we just need to step it back a little bit. That's all. And I get it, man. The technology, it just makes everything way too convenient. You know what I mean? Like too many
I
days
agree.
we ordering groceries. We should low key be driving to go get groceries because we ordering it because it's just too convenient just to say.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Well said. Well said, my Jay. So you mentioned Motown. Motown. Let me ask you this about Motown. Recently, about a year ago, I think maybe a year and a half, whatever. Neo, another dope artist, great songwriter, singer, performer, all of that. He stepped down from Motown Records as the record exec. Can we see Illa J put his name on the list to be the next Motown record exec over there at Motown now that Neo has stepped down? Can we see that here in the near future?
Crazy. I didn't even know that Neo was the exec over there. That's crazy. But it makes sense with someone like him because he really understands songwriting. Like you know what I mean? Like he's a really good songwriter, Neo. Salute to Neo. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. See, the label situation is like, as much as it would be dope, it would be really hard for me because it's hard to find artists that understand the business, that have the discipline, and willing to go through the ups and downs to get there. You know what I mean? Like, and again, maybe I'm wrong, but I just feel like nowadays it's just like, because people are given so much, they're a lot more entitled. So it's like, you know, uh, they're out there. You have good art. I know people that I work with that is like super focused, and I know they're gonna show up to the studio and they're gonna, hey man, just so you know, this is what it is. Because again, like there are shitty business people that, okay, that's a different situation. But I'm saying there are good situations where people mess up those opportunities too, and it'd be a good situation. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's very simple. It's like, yeah, it's a lot of people with talent and they could sing out of this world, but it's like they don't have discipline. They can't show up to the studio. They don't know how to work with other people. You don't know how to communicate with people. So it's like, you know, a lot of people think, like, now again, it's this higher level that, hey, I'm not a part of that. I don't know what kind of rituals that go a part of that. But on this level, on this level down here, it's really easy, man. It's just showing up. And it's like, okay, being respectful to everybody. You know what I mean? Like simple things. Like if I'm on tour, yo, man, I get in, I say what up to the sound guy. I say what up to the promoter. I say what up, you know what I mean? At the end of the show, peace out to the promoter. Thanks for bringing me out. Yo, sound guy, sounds good. And I'm like that in every situation. I get to the studio, yo, man, what up to the engineer, everybody I'm working with. And that's all it is. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of people think it's like rocket science, but you know, business is business. So it's like, if I'm doing business, I'm trying to get some shit done, I'm just working with people I can get shit done with. Like it's almost that simple. So once I have that history of working with that person, I know, okay, cool. I know I work with him every time. He always turns shit in on time. We don't have no back and forth. We're gonna be good. Let's go with him. It's that simple. Like a lot of times people be like, ooh, super talent over there. But too much back and forth. Too much attitude. Let's go with him. That's it. And that's not just in music. That's in so many different industries. It's even in sports. It's players out there where you like, dang man, he's a better player than him. Yeah, but he probably know how to work within the system. I mean, it's just what it is. You know what I mean? It's like, and sometimes it's just understanding your role. You know, a lot of time and a lot of times it's ego. That's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, like we just want to feel so special when but sometimes it's okay to, you know what? No, this is my role. It don't mean that you downgrading to play a role. You know what I mean? And again, that's for that specific system. And unless you create your own shit, hey, that's the only other way. You create your own shit, you run it, you do all of it, you know what I mean? Like you do all of the things. But for me, like I like fitting within the team and playing my role. And it's fun because then you got other people to celebrate the wins with. You know what I mean? Like if you have again, I always go back to basketball, but it's like you have a bad game, you got someone that got your back, you know what I mean? But it's like I enjoy the team aspect of it and kind of pushing everybody to play their parts and you know and again it's always been that, like, you know, so it's like
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right. So today's quick topic of the show is Stevie J. He pretty upset at 50 Cent for putting him on blast for the Diddy allegations. He wants to fight 50. What's up? In Illa J's opinion, who you taking on? I don't know if you're a betting man or not. I don't know. But who you got? You got 50 Cent or Stevie J in the ring together if they happen to fight each other? Who you got between 50 and Stevie J?
Stevie J. Ooh, okay, so that's the thing though, man. I saw the video where he was like Curtis, right? So I'm like, yo, it's like Stevie J, man. I don't know, man. That's a crazy dude, man. I don't know, man. He looked like he could fight, and I'm pretty sure 50 could fight too. This will be one of those fights where you just like you don't want to be close to them in that room. You know what I mean? Someone getting through over a table, going through a wall or some shit. Like these some strong motherfuckers. So
would you pay to see CBJ? Would you pay to see that?
no, I wouldn't pay to see it. No, but I would be on YouTube the next day looking for clips though. I'd be like, yo, man, what's that? What's the clips at? But I mean, honest, I can't even front, man. That whole situation, the whole situation, it's just like it's just crazy because it's like just like 2 years ago. You know what I mean? You see Diddy on Halloween with his costumes and shit. You know what I mean? And then now it's like, yo, it's like some Epstein R. Kelly shit. It's crazy. I don't know. Like we don't know what it is, but then it's like right now I don't see any charge or anything. It's just like kind of like speculation about what was happening in the studio and things like that. But I don't know. It's just this
So,
industry is man. It's a
hold on,
circus, man.
hold on just a second, because I can't let you escape this. LSJ, what's up? Have you been to a Diddy party? You got to get out of there by 11 o'clock. You leave it at 10:55. Well, what's up? Has LJ ever been to a Diddy party? I got to know right now here. Okay,
No, I've never been to a Diddy party. No.
okay.
Like yo, I've been to, and that's funny because like on even on tour, I'm like I'm the first person going back to my room. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm sleepy, man. I'm like, and I'm not. The thing is I'm not. I've never been a club person in a sense. So it's like I just don't know. I don't know. It's just always a weird. It's the club is weird. It's like okay, so it's like if you're in a relationship, no reason to be in the club. If you're not in a relationship, if you're single in the club, see, this becomes weird too because then, like, imagine like, okay, you a single dude, you're trying to talk to girls, but then, oh shit, she's in a relationship. Like it's always it's because you at some point you're just gonna end up being this wallflower standing around looking stupid. It's just like you just standing there, everybody like I don't know, but that's just like I said, that's just me. Like for me, a party is like I'd rather just like have a few friends over and we just watch movies or like playing Mario Kart or some shit. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like my group of friends party is very PG-13. We
Sure.
got video games,
Okay.
Mario Kart. You know what I mean? Movies. You know what I mean?
No rated
Marijuana.
R. No
Marijuana will
rated
get
R.
rated R as it gets. It's marijuana. That's it. You know what I mean? And I'm not even a drinker like that. Like I like because to me it's like drinking is like I don't know. I don't. Why would I like I always feel poisoned, literally. Like you know what I mean? I don't feel like that if I smoke weed. I just feel okay, cool. I'm just go to sleep. I don't feel like, and I wake up regular. I don't wake up like oh shit. I like what happened yesterday? Did I get in a fight? Like what? Like you feel? You know what I mean? But honestly, like the industry parties, like just never really been in any parties like that. The most Hollywood party I've ever been to is like at Russell Peters' crib, and I just like it's just like all kind of people there. You see like famous boxers, like me and Frank smoked a blunt with Melissa Ford, and like just like random shit like that. But like even then, I've never been at a party
So you were down the street from Diddy's house. That's what you said. You was like, is that what you said?
down the street.
Is that what I'm hearing? Is that I want to be clear? You were down the street from Diddy's house. You might not have been at his party, but you were in the vicinity. Is that what you said?
You know what? So it's levels. It's levels, right? So it's like, okay, so you got the you got that next level money parties, right? Where you gotta have a certain card. You gotta swipe your card to know to get in that motherfucker, right? You gotta be on a certain money level to get in there, right? I can't. It is what it is. I can't get in those parties, right? And
Okay.
again, I don't think that because this is the thing. I don't think a dude like me, they won't. I could never get in those parties because it, as soon as I see some bullshit, I'm be like, yo, man, nah, man. So
Right,
they
right.
can't. It's just what it is. Like it's not saying nothing on the people that be in that club that do shit a certain way, but you got to be a certain type of person to want some shit that bad to do some shit you don't want to do to get it. And again, I don't mean like okay, I don't mean putting in extra work to practice so I can get better. I'm talking about literally doing shit against your will that it's just it goes against your whole all your morals and everything to do that to get success. You know what I mean? It's a certain type of person that they got to get for that. You know what I mean? So it's like they, you know what I mean? They you know what I mean? You can feel people energy. They like, oh man, we not gonna. This nigga gonna
That
fight
whole,
us.
all right.
I'm
Well
telling
said.
everybody. I'm like, hey man. I'm telling everybody, yo. I'm going. I'm opening up my line, like, yo, going to the party.
He
I,
got it all live. He got it all live.
I'm not going through. And again, I don't know what people go through. So you know what I mean. But it's just like I wouldn't. I'm just saying I wouldn't even if all that shit's going on. I'm not making it through a whole album. Going to
Makes
someone like,
sense.
hey man, you got to stay up and make this track. 16, yo, I ain't slept. No, man, I'm doing it tomorrow. That's it. I'm grown as hell. I'm a grown ass man. I'm grown as hell, yo. I'm grown as hell, yo. You better stop it with that shit. Hey man, I'm grown as hell. I'm taking a break.
Ah, he
Peace, yo.
said he doing it tomorrow.
No, I need you to
I,
stay and make this track now, man. Hey man,
I
I'm
like
about to
that.
call my wife. I'll talk to you later, nigga. Peace.
Right. All right.
Just I
All
just
right.
feel like, like yeah, it's industry shit where you wanna cause I understand and knowing your place and shit, but I'm always gonna keep it. It got to be human with me in the sense of like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a business situation, but you know what I mean? Just because it's business, it don't mean you could treat me like I'm less of a human or less of a than you because you got this big check and you famous and shit. So it's just like, and that's the problem is that it's like, yeah, it's fucked up, but people got to start. They got to stop putting themselves in these types of situations. It's like, why is you letting someone talk to you in this type of way? It's already
I
no,
agree.
no. Who
I
the fuck are
agree.
you
I
talking
agree.
to? No,
I agree. All
you
right.
know.
All right. All right. All right. I'm with you on that. I am with you on that. So we're gonna play a quick game called Who You Got? So I'm gonna give you two artists, maybe even a group, and you give me who you got between the two. Can you handle that?
Okay, yep, perfect, perfect.
All right. So the first one, Common and Most Def. Who you got?
Comment.
Common? All right,
Yeah,
all right, all
yeah,
right,
yeah.
all right, all right. So,
Funny, I can hear my wife in the other room, like, comment.
all right, the next one, Slum Village and Tribe Called Quest. Who you got?
I'm sorry, I got to be biased on this with Slum Village, man. Sorry, man. I love you.
Busta Rhymes, Q-Tip.
I love Tribe.
I like
I
that
love
one.
Tribe, but I got to go with Slum. Got to go with Slum.
All right. Now, this one gonna touch your heart a little bit. Jay Dilla and and Pete Rock. Who you
Oh,
got?
Jay Dilla. Jay Dilla.
Okay,
Jay Dilla.
okay. All right,
Much love
all
to Pete Rock. Much love to Pete Rock. I feel like even Pete Rock will say Jay Dilla. Maybe I'm wrong.
right. All right. And the last one, this one will be a tough one. De La Soul and Arrested Development. Who you
De La
got?
Soul. De La Soul. De La
De La
Soul.
Soul. Okay. All
Listen, De
right.
La Soul. I actually just rocked the stage with them just this past week with Robert Glasper at the Kennedy Center. It was crazy, man. I was just
Okay.
telling them like, man, I don't ever take it for granted with y'all being around. Like for me, I just y'all still it's still oh shit, it's De La Soul to me. You know what I mean? Like I like it ain't like because I feel like for some peeps it's like once it's a new people have different status in different eras and shit. You know what I mean? Because it was the '90s there, and then now because we have newer stars here, so it puts other people in different positions. But for me, all those people I grew up on are still there to me. You know what I mean? Like because to me it's about the craft. I'm not thinking about how famous they are. To me, it's just like when I listen to it, it's still dope as hell. So it's like
Okay. Okay.
you know what I
I
mean? But
like
yeah,
that.
De La Soul, man, salute,
De La
man.
Soul. Shout out to De La Soul still doing their thing in the music industry after all these years. Big shout out to them. All right. So, any future projects you have going on you like to promote right now here on the
Word.
Pimp Game podcast?
Oh yeah, my latest project, No Traffic, my first ever self-produced LP, dropped last year. That is out now. You can
All
go on
right.
my Bandcamp, NLJ Bandcamp, cop that. And I also have two EPs coming out this year, called Off Days in London. So you would definitely be hearing about those soon. The EPs involve it's a production by me and Ash Walker, and I'm on the vocals. I'm singing. I'm gonna be singing on these projects. So yeah, definitely look out for it. I'm back. I'm going back to the I had to go back to the vocal bag. I had to go back to it. So it's coming. I got some soul, yeah. But yeah, shout out to Ash Walker. We've been making some really dope music together, and shout out to BVE, and yeah, I got a lot of new projects I'm working on. Shout out to Sam, Main Soul, Harley Blue, Hose B, Frank and Dank, and yeah, it's gonna be a great year. And also look out for we've been bringing everything together for PJ production, so definitely look out for a lot of collaborations coming with for PJ and for Jay
All
Dilla.
right, all right, all right. Well said, well said, well said. So, for all those people who've been rocking with you back in Detroit, 8 Mile, you doing your thing with your brother, Jay Dilla, Hot 97, touring in London, EP, all of that. Any final thoughts for your fans before we sign off on Pimp Game?
I just want to say thanks to all of my fans that have been supporting my career since the very beginning. All the fans that be at my shows, the streaming my music on my IG. I really appreciate all the love. It means a lot to be able to turn something that's literally a love of mine and be able to make a living off of it. And I wouldn't be able to do that without your support. So thanks so much. And hopefully you keep supporting, and I'm gonna keep bringing new product, new music, new fresh shit for you to just put in your headphones and bump in your car and in your crib.
Yo, tell everybody who you chilling with.
Yo, it's your boy Illa J, repping them Yancey boys, and I'm chilling with Kenny D on the Pimp Game podcast. Let's get it.
All right, and that concludes our show for this evening. But before I let you go, I'd like to thank all my viewers out there, as well as my YouTube lovers. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. That's right, you're going to subscribe, and make sure you turn those notifications on so when we upload videos, you are the first to get it. And last but not least, I'd like to thank the one and only Mr. ILLAJ. That's right, Illa J, the hardest working artist in the industry right now, for blessing us with his presence on the show. All right, see you next time on Pimp Game. You don't want to miss it. Holla.